This is Alcohol Mastery. My name's Kevin O'Hara, and today I'm going to be talking about the question, which is easier to quit, alcohol or nicotine? Nicotine and alcohol are two substances that are not only consumed differently, but they're also accepted much differently in society. If you're a smoker, you're basically a social pariah these days. You're not accepted. You're pushed out. Smoking is unsociable. You have to go outside to smoke. You have to go past all the people who are giving you the dirty looks for having that filthy habit. But if you're a drinker, it's still a very much acceptable part of society. Um, there's still a huge connoisseur aspect to drinking wine, drinking these single malt whiskies, or drinking special vodkas, or the triple X beers, that kind of thing. But that wasn't always the case. Look backwards to when our grandparents were young, and smoking was a big thing. Have a look at the website, and I've got a few advertisements, some old advertisements, where you see doctors uh, saying that this is their preferred brand of cigarettes. Um, see Santa Claus on one of them holding up a packet of fags. So, and when I first moved to Spain, it was the same thing here. This is only going back a few years now, but when the smoking ban came in 2011, before that, people used to smoke in banks, they'd smoke in the supermarkets. So it hasn't always been this unsociable thing to do. If you're addicted to nicotine, it's very, very difficult to hide it. If you're working in a place, you have to go past your fellow office workers to go out for a cigarette. When you come back in, you're smelling of the cigarette smoke. Your fingers will be brown because of the nicotine. Your teeth might be brown. So it's a very difficult habit to hide. You bring it around with you everywhere you go. On the other hand, if you're addicted to alcohol, you can very well go through your whole day without having a drink, and only get pissed when you get home at night, or go to the pub when you leave work and get pissed then. So you don't really have to mix those two worlds together. You can also hide the smell of drink on your breath. It depends obviously how much you've had, but it's not as difficult to hide as it is for cigarette smokers. So on the question of which is the hardest to quit, it's a very personal question. I've looked at loads of different posts on forums, I've looked at articles on the web, and I'm going on my own experiences as well. And it is a very personal thing. Not everyone's going to have the same experiences. For instance, if you've only just started smoking, or if you've smoked only for a few years, but you have a big drinking problem, it's going to be easier for you to stop smoking. If you're surrounded by people who are smoking all the time and you try and quit, then it's going to be a lot more difficult. Personally, I found it horrendous to try and give up the cigarettes. I tried, must be over 100 times to quit, and every time I tried, the cravings were just exhausting. I just got so angry, and so it was frustrating, a horrible experience. The alcohol, on the other hand, is a different story. I've stopped drinking maybe 3 or 4 times, and each of those times I've had a certain time period where I've stopped, maybe 3 months, or the longest was 11 months, and it was always to lose some weight, or to stop drinking as much, that kind of thing. But there was always a deadline at the end of it, so I was always going to go back on it. Except this time, now I have it in my head, and I know that I'm never going to go back on the drink, so it's very easy for me. So that's my own personal experience. But I know a lot of other people find it extremely difficult to stop drinking, but give up the cigarettes, no problems at all. So it is going to be a very personal experience. So at the end of the day, the answer to the question is it's all an individual thing. There's no right answer. Um, some people are going to find it hard to give up the alcohol. Other people are going to find it hard to give up the cigarettes. It's as simple as that. It's an addiction. Both of them are addictions. So you just have to quit. You have to use willpower. You have to use your strength of character. You know, you might find it easier if you've got a bit more experience underneath your belt or whatever. It's all going to be an individual thing. Just try and get yourself out of the environment that you were in while you were smoking or drinking. Don't keep going out to the smoking room if you're trying to give up cigarettes, hanging around people who are smoking. And definitely, if you're stopping drinking, don't go back down to the pub. It's the worst thing you can do. So, thanks for coming. If you're on YouTube, go down below and subscribe. Uh, Leave a comment. Go back to the website, leave a comment there, or leave a voicemail. I'm Kevin O'Hara for Alcohol Mastery.